Hey, Big Boss lovers, how's it going? The wait is almost over. Yes, the new season of Big Boss is around the corner. So I thought, why not talk a little bit of Big Boss? Because if you're anything like me, you've been missing the daily drama, the fights, the tasks, Big Boss ka ghar, Big Boss ki awaaz. So yes, I want to talk about Big Boss. And not just Big Boss, I also want to talk about the N word. The N word that's on everyone's mind, the N word that is so popular right now in the industry, in the Hindi film industry. Nepotism, our favorite topic. So, what does nepotism have to do with Big Boss? And what does Big Boss have to do with nepotism? We're going to talk about two contestants that fit this bill perfectly. They're opinionated, they're strong willed, they have big sisters in the Hindi film industry that are popular, that are successful, and that are still ruling the roost in a lot of ways. And these two contestants have always lived under the shadow. So who are they? They are Shamita Shetty and Tanisha Mukherji. And I think the perfect way to talk about these strong women is to bring another one on here to talk about them with me. She is a sister from another Mr. Miss Gayatri.
Hello, sister. How are
Hello,
you?
sister. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, and I love these two. So let's get
Yes.
started.
Strong-headed, opinionated, and just overall badass women in the Big Boss history. They have a lot of crisscrossing in their paths. I know a lot of people will think, what does Shamita Shetty have to do with Tanisha and vice versa? If you look at it in their history, and I'm talking about their sister's history now, does Bazigar ring a bell? It has Miss Kajol in it. It has Miss Shilpa Shetty in it. Who are they? Big sisters of Shamita and Tanisha, obviously. So 1993 में बाजीगर आई थी. It was a huge success. This was Shilpa's debut. She debuted with Kajol and Shahrukh. Like, how insane of a launch is that? Because Shahrukh Kajol का craze तब बहुत था, you know, in the early 90s. So I feel like perfect launch for her. And then obviously Kajol to Kajol hai. She is a very popular figure even today. Jahan Shilpa and Kajol star has always increased and risen, especially Shilpa in the last few years. Wahi, we have Shamita and Tanisha, whose stars have not risen to that level, but they're still celebs in their own right.
I agree because it's interesting that both the elder sisters made
Yeah.
were in a movie, and Kajol was still, establishing herself. This was a huge hit for her,
Mhm.
very popular songs, an
Yes.
ultimate debut platform for Shilpa Shetty. Although she had a substantially smaller role, but she
Mhm.
was into the foray. So I think that's interesting. And then after that, Tanisha and Shamita, they did movies too. I'm not saying that,
Yes.
obviously we're talking about the comparison, but then they got launches. Like Tanisha was a part of this movie. Shh, like it was a suspense thriller. There is a killer. He's killing people. Okay, I'll tell you very funny story. This movie
Okay.
resembles Scream so much, and I have like seen Scream as a guilty pleasure because I keep on
Uh-huh.
criticizing the movie all the time. But I couldn't do that with that movie. It wasn't that good. I wouldn't say bad, but that good. So that was a launch for Tanisha.
Uh-huh.
And Shamita, everybody knows that it
Yeah.
was a multi-starrer Mohabbatein. Again, great songs. Cult movie now. Everybody
Yeah.
loves.
Yash
Uh,
Raj banner. Yash Raj.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think they came into their the industry on their
Mhm.
small little toes, but it was up to them to make big on their
Yes.
own or not.
Yeah, or not. It's a really big disadvantage for both Tanisha and Shamita because they have Shilpa and Kajol's name to maybe live up to, and I feel that's totally unfair because these are their own individuals. But that being said, जैसे मैंने अभी कहा कि शिल्पा का डेब्यू शाहरुख के साथ हुआ था, शमिता का भी डेब्यू शाहरुख के साथ ही हुआ है. I know she wasn't paired with him,
Yeah.
but he was a big part of that movie. I mean, he was that movie. If we want to compare Tanisha and Shamita even further, they both had some really big songs in their careers.
Yeah. So
Shamita
she
had,
had this Sharara, and Tanisha had this Neil and Nikki, a disaster of a movie. But
mhm,
again, Yash Raj banner was
mhm,
heavily, heavily criticized. Also, she was body shamed to turn to a
mhm.
zero figure. I don't know what was zero about it. It was going in
Yes,
the negative side. But when these two ladies came into their existence, Shamita is synonymous to Sharara Sharara. It
Yes.
was that much attached to her.
Yes.
Although she'd done some other songs,
उसका एक गाना था in the movie साथिया, चोरी पे चोरी. I
Chori Pe
love
Chori,
that
it was
song.
hot.
She
हाँ
was
यार,
looking amazing. I love
I love
that
the
song.
dress.
Shamita amazing to आज भी लगती है. I feel like she looks even better. Like Shamita has a killer figure. She's so pretty.
To
हम
all
सब
the haters, she is an auntie and as hot as an auntie
as
can.
hot as ever. If Auntie means Shamita Shetty, please sign us up any day because Shamita is hot, hot, hot. And मुझे लगता है कि हम सब ना शिल्पा के ऊपर तो बात करते ही हैं. Oh my God, she has an amazing figure. She looks so pretty. And I don't know why Shamita always gets, you know, sidelined or overshadowed. उन्होंने तो चलो अपनी movies में नाम बनाया है. शिल्पा ने and Kajol ne, and Shilpa even more so in the reality TV world. And then you have Tanisha and Shamita, who maybe movies didn't, you know, work well for them. Shamita was in Zeher, but she didn't get recognized for that movie. That was a successful movie, but it didn't
It
do
was.
anything for her.
So there were stints that Shamita had, like she was a part of Zeher, and
Mm-hmm.
then this movie she did with Shilpa herself, with Manoj Bajpayee for Rape, where this was this amazing song, Baras Jaye Badal Baras Shah, both the
Ah,
girls
yes.
dancing. That was also an attempt to maybe, bring her again to the scenes, but didn't
Mm-hmm.
work. When we talk about nepotism, I think there are both the sides to it. You
Yes.
may get that first advantage, the first step,
Mm-hmm.
but how many steps? Like we
Yes.
talk about Abhishek Bachchan's flops, but at the end of the day, Abhishek Bachchan had to do a yuva to get
Yep.
recognized, or
Yep.
a guru to get
Yep.
recognized. He was not recognized for his old movies,
Yes.
Refugee, or any other movie that
Any of
I
them.
don't even
Yes.
remember.
बस इतना सा
So
ख्वाब है.
I think
तो
we
पता नहीं
have,
क्या
yeah,
था.
I think it's a two-way street. You
Yes.
can't just blame nepotism, because
Yes.
to be honest, if I have a son or a daughter, if I'm successful somewhere, I would not want them to do the same thing. But if they want to do that same thing, I will help them.
Yeah. For
I
sure.
would give them priority.
Huh,
Why
for
not?
sure. And that's why I think that if this was the reason that Shilpa and Shamita came together for that movie, I don't blame either of them. Your family, you want to help each other, that's fine. But you know, a movie that Tanisha was in that was really successful was Sarkar, you know, Ram Gopal Verma ki Sarkar. But when you think of that movie, Tanisha's name doesn't stick out to you. Like you would never think that she was in that movie. In fact,
Yeah.
I even forgot that she was in that movie. You are the one who told me she was in that movie. So I feel like that's the problem. We forget when they do have those bright spots, and we are
Yeah.
always there quick to judge. इन दोनों ने खतरों के खिलाड़ी भी किया हुआ है. They have that adventurous side. They have that side ki, you know, I want to show people. I want to show people what I'm made of. So I really love that because both of these women have that fighting spirit. They don't give up. They like to conquer their fears, their demons that they may have. And they did all of this and more in the Bigg Boss house. Now I know Shamita pehle bhi gayi thi, then she came consecutively in OTT and Bigg Boss 15. And Tanisha was in Bigg Boss a long time ago, season 7, and both of their journeys are quite similar. Like I don't know if people sit there and compare them, but they have a lot of the same going on. एक तो हमने कह दिया ये nepotism की बातें. हाँ, ये काजोल की छोटी बहन है. कुशाल
Yeah.
कहता था ना उसको, ये flop actress है.
Similarly,
ये
like
flop
Shamita
गई
was
है.
said कि तू तो चार बार आ गई, OTT
Yes.
नहीं जीती.
हाँ, जहाँ
Very similar
कुशाल उसके पीछे
acquisitions.
पड़ता था, यहाँ बिचुकले ये शमिता के पीछे पड़ता था कि ये तो आराम आराम कर रही थी घर पे,
हाँ,
इतने सालों में किया ही क्या है इसने. They
right.
both face this. They both are perceived to be rich brats, hoity-toity, elitist because of their
What did
behavior.
they call them? Sophisticated? Oh, something
Sophisticated.
they call.
शमिता
I
को
don't know,
तो उन्होंने
something.
क्वीन ही बना दिया था, Queen of Buckingham Palace.
Any which ways, what we are trying to establish here, that these two women, they had very similar Big Boss journey as well. दोनों का वहाँ पे एक love angle start होता है. Now Shamita
Ah,
started in OTT with Rakesh, and then it continued.
yes.
And then Tanisha had a similar stint with uh,
Arman
Arman.
Kohli.
Arman.
Both of these women were in fact defined by their relationship on this Big Boss show for a while. Contestant कम लोग इनको पेयर की तरह देखते थे कि जहां अरमान है
Yeah,
वहीं तनीषा है. I mean अरमान तो
right.
अपना रोब झाड़ता था तनीषा पे, like जैसे वो बात करता था, he had a control over her almost, but she still showed her individuality. She still dealt
I
with
agree.
all the drama from his side. यहाँ शमिता को कहते थे कि ये dominate करती है,
Controlling है,
ये
हाँ,
control करती है.
controlling है. ये एक नेचर का सब में होता है. Like
Yeah.
everybody is controlling at a point, you know,
Yep.
even in a relationship. Now Tanisha wasn't also all okay, subdued मैं गाय माता हूँ
Yeah.
मुझे बांध दो खूंटी से. No, she used to have those fights
It was
with
feisty.
Gauhar, Shal. She was feisty. So we can't really say कि वो पूरा control हो जाती थी.
Mm-hmm.
हाँ, she gave her all herself.
Yeah.
बाहर जाके जो होता है नहीं होता, that's a different story. But when we see their journey, you know, now interestingly, Shamita had to leave the first ever time she went in due to Shilpa's marriage, I guess.
Huh.
She was
Yep.
married. इसके बाद ये दोनों की जो जर्नी है ये लोग फिनाले तक जाते हैं. They've got strong opponents in the form of Gauhar and
Yes.
Tejasvi.
Yep.
They get a lot of support. These other two girls also get a lot of support, like
Yes.
Tejasvi did, like Gauhar did, although they both won the other people. But I think Shamita and Tanisha also had their own journey because
Yes.
मुझे लगता है कि अगर Shamita शिल्पा की बहन नहीं होती, I'm making this statement because this is what I feel, she
Yeah.
could have won OTT because
I
I feel
100%
she
agree.
could have
मुझे
done that.
लगता है जहां तक OTT की बात है, I definitely feel अगर शमिता के पीछे शेट्टी नहीं लगा
Testing
होता ना,
Nalagam.
she would
Agreed.
have won.
Agreed.
जहां तक Big Boss 15 की बात है, maybe there were big popular faces there like Karan
And
Kundra
it's
and
not even
Tejasvi.
popular. I think she got amidst a lot of characters, you know. So
Yes.
in OTT, there were a limited
Yes.
characters. They keep on
Yeah.
exiting, and it was a short time.
Yeah.
Big Boss 15, there were a lot of different characters. They kept coming in.
Yes.
Everybody had to either fight, either talk,
Yes.
either do this, either do
Yes.
that.
Yep.
And then there was a love angle, which was blossoming inside. So
Yeah.
obviously, viewers got attracted to that because
Yep.
Rakesh and Shamita were, you know, continuing those things, and they were
Yeah.
not like the teenage love story that blossomed in there. So they
Yeah.
were more mature,
Yep.
more sophisticated. And we also saw that when Tanisha came in, she was a silent observer, saying
Yes.
nothing. And then she developed into this
Fighter.
Lakshmi Bai जाती है वो बाद में जाके
Yes.
मैं मांगूंगी मैं ये कर दूंगी तूने कैसे बोला. She also got in a verbal spat
Yes,
with the
you're
guy.
100% right. मुझे लगता है, and I'm just speaking for me right now, in season 7, after Kamya, I wanted Tanisha to win, and Gohar obviously won. In this season, season 15, I was rooting for Karan, Umar, and Shamita. जो Shamita की journey थी, she 100% nailed it. The fights she had with Teja, you know, they were humongous. They were like big, you know, personalities. They were going up against it. Same Gohar and Tanisha. Big personalities, opinionated women going up against it. I love
Yeah.
to see strong women. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि हाँ fight करते रहो, पर मैं ये
लड़ो,
कह रही
हाँ.
हूँ अपने हक के लिए लड़ो या अपना stand रखो.
You know,
Show
fight
what
for
you
the
can
right
do.
things. I mean, Shamita gave
Yeah.
her all when she was
Yes.
trolled about her age,
Yeah.
when she was trolled about her, you know, relationship with Rakesh,
Yeah.
or when she was judged about her behavior or her relationship or her camaraderie with Karan. उसको जब आंटी बोला तेजा ने या फिर उसको कुछ भी बोला. Similarly, Divya Agarwal. Let's not forget Divya Agarwal
हाँ.
also was.
उंगली उंगली तो करती थी ना वो हमेशा.
She was such a Pokemon. All the time. That's what I call her now. तो
100%.
वो एक चीज थी जो वहां पे वो सही के लिए लड़ती थी. तो दोनों ने बहुत शांति से स्टार्ट करी थी. You know,
Yeah.
बड़े एलिगेंट तरीके से they came to the
Yes.
show. They know the legacy that they carry. They can't
Yes.
just invite into. I think वो एक pressure था या वो
Yeah.
ऐसे ही because they are from
Pressure.
big families.
Pressure था, and I feel like it's also a burden क्योंकि ये
It is.
यहाँ घर में कुछ भी कहें कुछ भी करें वो सीधे oh what will my family think, what will my family say, you know, that is always there, and that's something that other contestants don't necessarily think about, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Even if they think about, I think, you know, they don't think it like कि मैं शिल्पा शेट्टी का नाम खराब कर रही हूँ यार, मेरे
एग्जैक्टली।
पीछे काजोल या अजय देवगन, ये कैसे साबित होता है? क्योंकि जब शमिता से कोई मिलने आता था या उसकी किसी से बात होती थी, शी यूज्ड टू ऑलवेज से व्हाट डिड ममा से, व्हाट डिड ममा से।
यस।
सिमिलरली तनीषा के साथ जब अरमान की बातें हो रही थी, आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ यू नो दिस, बट आउटसाइड देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स गोइंग ऑन दैट काजोल एंड द फैमिली इज नॉट हैप्पी अबाउट द
हम्म।
रिलेशनशिप
हम्म।
and blah blah blah, and somehow I think it got inside, and there
या।
were here and there talks कि
या
बाहर
हंड्रेड
होती है कि
परसेंट
पसंद नहीं आ रहा। सो ये जो एक प्रेशर था, ये एक ऐसा प्रेशर नहीं है कि हाय मैंने किस कर दिया नेशनल टीवी पे तो मम्मी क्या कहेगी, नहीं।
नहीं।
ये प्रेशर था कि हाय मैं अरमान कोहली के साथ हूँ तो काजोल के फैंस क्या कहेंगे,
यस।
अजय देवगन के फैंस क्या कहेंगे, शिल्पा शेट्टी को ट्रोल किया जाएगा।
जब शमिता ये उसने ओटीटी एंड ये शुरू किया था ये सीजन 15, obviously Shilpa Shetty was in a lot of controversy because of her husband, you know,
या
Raj Kundra के साथ जो हो रहा था, and all of that drama and negativity ये शमिता के ऊपर जा रही थी। Why? Shamita is her own person. Why are you putting other people's stuff onto her, you know?
But I think that's how it goes
Yep.
around the world, because
Yep.
I'm not only saying about the Indian families. I think
Yep.
that's how it works around the world.
Yes.
You're a part of a family or
100%.
you're part of a circle, you would be talked about even if you're not involved in it. Like,
Yes.
for example, Aryan Khan ने कुछ किया या नहीं किया, I'm not
Yeah.
commenting on that. But Shah Rukh Khan, Gauri Khan, Suhana
Yes.
Khan,
Yeah.
even that
So
little Abram Khan is being judged. So that's a sad
it's
state
a
of things. I
sad,
don't know why that's
exactly.
happening.
Huh, but you
So,
know, all of that said and done, Tanisha and Shamita will remain one of the two strong women of Big Boss throughout the years. I'm not saying they're the only women, but hum ye comparisons draw kar rahe the between these two families and these two individuals. And I strongly believe jahan strong-headed, strong-willed women ki baat aayegi, if we make a list of them, Tanisha and Shamita will always remain there. They played the game beautifully. हर एक ड्रामे में नहीं
I'm
घुसते थे, लेकिन जब बात खुद पे आती थी, they used to talk. Task आता था, whether they win or lose, that's different, but they gave it their all to win. You know, they stood their ground, and they did get public love and support. पर मुझे आज
They
तक भी
truly
लगता है,
did.
yeah,
They
Shamita
truly
की
did.
बात की, but I also believe Tanisha, if maybe she didn't have that Kajol connection, she could have also won. I'm not saying कि Gohar is not deserving or she was not
Hmm.
popular. 100% she was. But I feel like Shamita के साथ ये issues ज़्यादा था because this nepotism thing
Indeed.
is a bigger deal today than it was
It
when
is, it
Tanisha
is,
was
it
there.
is, it is being talked about more than
Yes.
season 7, because N word is kind of cool to talk about, but people
Yes.
don't really think that every coin has two sides. And if you open even a grocery shop, you say Kapoor and Sons. So if you're
Yes.
including your sons, don't expect
Yes.
Shah Rukh Khan to launch you.
100%. So obviously, we just talked about they had successful stints in Big Boss. They were big contenders in Khatro Ke Khiladi. But Big Boss pe hum focus kar rahe hain because we love Big Boss. But also, my question here is, I firmly believed कि Big Boss के बाद Shamita's star is gonna rise like insane. We're gonna see her everywhere, projects, like चाहे वो movie हो, चाहे वो TV show हो, web series हो, song, whatever. But so far, I haven't seen her in any like big project. I might be wrong. And even Tanisha, I feel like the star that should have rose post Big Boss stint being the runner up,
Yeah.
उसको भी इतना फायदा नहीं हुआ आज तक. शमिता का तो चलो recent है. Tanisha has had years. So I wonder, was Big Boss a good thing for them? Are they getting anything out of it?
So there are two things. Now, when Shamita entered previously and when Shamita entered now you have a social media to back
Yeah.
you up, whether that is due to PR, whether that is genuine fan following. You've got a social media presence. I think what we have learned of Shamita, I think she is a decision maker for her own. I don't think कि उसको नहीं offer किया गया होगा. The other contestants, they want to establish themselves, like Prateek hai, Teja. Teja was a TV star, but
Yeah.
then again, have to move on. लेकिन वो एक need शायद शमिता के पास नहीं है. I might be wrong, she might not be getting something, but मुझे फिर भी ये लगता है कि एक presence है, वो शमिता का create हो गया. People would
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Shamita को ले लेते हैं.
Yeah.
Talking about Tanisha, now there was no social media. It wasn't that
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
So अभी आज अगर मुझे कोई वेब सीरीज बनानी है या कोई म्यूजिक वीडियो बनानी है जो कि आज का ट्रेंड है, that is the first work you get outside Bigg Boss
Yep.
today.
Yep.
Earlier you used to think यार इसको एक छोटी सी मूवी मिल जाएगी, सीजन
Yep.
7 सीजन 8 में हम सोच रहे थे एक मूवी मिल जाएगी, सलमान
Yeah.
खान के साथ मिल जाएगी.
Yeah.
हम लोगों का यही तक था कि अब
Yeah.
ये बिग बॉस जीत गए या पॉपुलर हो गए, they'll
Yeah.
get a movie with Salman Khan. But now people can, venture into web series, people can venture into music videos,
Yeah.
or do anything at all. Even
Yeah.
on Instagram, if you come on live, you're so damn popular. See
Yeah.
Munawwar, बहुत time तक trend
Yeah.
किया था. For that
Yeah.
matter, other people out of lockup, other people out of Bigg Boss. This girl, they just we got the show inside Bigg Boss.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot of change of the scenario and the kind of work people do when they come
Yes.
out of Bigg Boss. I think that's also the reason. But again, maybe the need was not there in Tanisha's case as well, because we know that they come from a balanced family. Maybe they
Yeah.
don't want to the kind of work they were
Yeah.
offered. So that's fine.
100%.
I
I
think
also think that social media plays a big role क्योंकि Big Boss की गेम आजकल ट्रेंड की गेम है. Who is the most popular? किसकी ट्रेंड ज्यादा हो रही है? कौन सा फैन बेस सबसे बड़ा है? कौन सा फैन बेस सबसे लड़ाका है? यही चलता है और वही घूम फिर के न्यूज अंदर भी आती है कि you're trending, आपकी तो जोड़ी बन गई. जब ये तनीषा थी ये सब नहीं होता था. There was no जोड़ी hashtags, there was no fan clubs tweeting and tweeting and tweeting. But Shamita has that, stardom now. I'm gonna say stardom because people
she's
are
a star.
crazy about
Agreed.
Shamita. She is a star. I don't care कि Shilpa कहाँ है, Shamita कहाँ है. I don't care because Shamita is a star in her own right. I think she
Agreed.
will make her career decisions as they come. सोच समझ के वो करेगी because we know that she's someone who deliberates. वो रश नहीं करती, वो सोचती है 1000 बार, and we know she's very particular about things. चाहे वो उसका attire ho, खाने पीने का हो, रहन सहन हो, she takes care of everything. So I'm pretty sure she will take care of her profession in that way as well. So I'm really excited to see, what Shamita does out of here. I'm also excited for this new Bigg Boss season that is also coming. You love Bigg Boss, I love Bigg Boss, and I'm sure we're gonna have even more contestants.
I'm getting anxiety in my stomach. Who will be the contestants and everything? I
Yes.
have a few names, but I won't tell you, Katie. I think we would watch it again. Of course, as much as we criticize the Bigg Boss makers,
Yep.
concept, the judges,
Yep.
love it, hate it, but we'll watch it.
You'll watch it for sure. Let us know what you think down in the comment sections. Were you a fan of Tanisha? Were you a fan of Shamita? Do you think that we made some legitimate comparisons here? Let us know if you have any comparisons of your own. And let us know how you feel about this Bigg Boss and nepotism topics. Do you think they go hand in hand? Is there anyone else who fits into this bracket? We just talked about 2. I'm sure there's a million others there since the contestant list is very long. Follow us on social media. I am Puri602. Gayatri is
Gayatri Bora. That's it. That's how I'm addressed. I'm not a pari.
तू परी बन भी नहीं सकती, ठीक है?
मुझ परी बनना भी नहीं है, मैंने धरती पे रहना है. Thank you.
ठीक है. Okay, guys, that being said, we will talk to you next time. Follow us on social media, like I said, and subscribe here. So see you next time. Bye.